Cleveland's Brown owner just recently came out and opened up and disclosed that he didn't want Shedeur Sanders. He didn't have nothing to do with the decision. It was the general manager's call and respected the call.
Shedeur Sanders is going to end up getting traded. He will not be with the Cleveland Browns for long. You can bank on that now. I'm telling you, Shedeur Sanders is going to...
The Dallas Cowboys billionaire boss riding in like a Wild West sheriff. Cowboy hat tilted low, staring down the chaos in Cleveland and ready to snatch Shedeur Sanders out of the mess before it swallows him whole.
Oh, now it sounds like the Cleveland Browns are going to all but imprison Shedeur Sanders in the football sense of a very talented rookie quarterback who obviously needs reps, needs an opportunity, and who now, barring some miraculous luck, will not get the opportunity to play in a single real game. I'm sure many around the NFL are celebrating as we speak. They are chuckling about this. Many in
the Browns thought they were getting a talented rookie with swagger, composure, and a last name that rings louder than stadium speakers. But instead, they've turned him into a prisoner on their depth chart. The NFL is laughing, fans are fuming, and Jerry Jones is circling like a hawk that smells weakness. The question is simple. Does Jerry have the nerve to pull off the wildest quarterback heist in NFL history?
What Shedeur went through and what you went through. Tonight, watching tonight, does it make it almost more meaningful than just a football game?
I'm not gonna say meaningful. We've already spoken like 3 times today. We just got off the phone joking and clowning like crazy. But he's so prepared right now. A lot of people are approaching it like a preseason game. He's approaching like a game. And that's how he's always approached everything, to prepare and to approach it like this is it. I just can't wait to see him get down tonight. But it's gonna be a little weird. It's gonna be a little strange. It's gonna be a problem after tonight, though.
Or is this just another Cowboys fantasy cooked up to distract the league? The saga isn't just about football anymore. It's about power, ego, and the future of a name that already belongs in the history books. Shedeur Sanders came into the league with more attention than most rookies could ever dream of. But Cleveland has him shackled, sitting 4th on the roster behind quarterbacks who have either peaked or never really had it to begin with. Fans see the disaster coming from a mile away. This isn't about development, it's about burying him.
I'll tell you how badly I wanted you to coach my Dallas Cowboys, because I believe with all my heart and soul you would soon have turned them back into a legitimate contender. How close did that come to happening? How much did you believe that Jerry did have interest in you?
He did, and he still does. Jerry's a dear friend. I love him to life. It was interesting. I didn't really think about it that much, but after we conversated, I said, wow, like this has a possibility. Would I do it? And the only way I would have done it, Skip, to be honest with you, is I knew guaranteed I had an opportunity to coach my sons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Around the NFL, insiders are chuckling, muttering that maybe this is the league's way of humbling Shedeur and his father, primetime Deion Sanders. But when you look closer, it feels less like a lesson and more like sabotage. Cleveland is known for ruining quarterbacks the way some people ruin expensive wine, by wasting it before anyone can enjoy it. You don't draft Shedeur Sanders to let him rot. And yet, here we are, with the Browns looking like the league's quarterback graveyard once again. But just when it seems like Shedeur's story might stall, in rides Jerry Jones, the man who treats every NFL season like a billion-dollar Broadway play.
How different is a defense in, say, the first or second preseason game, say, to the first or second regular season game? What kind of different looks will they give you as a quarterback?
Yeah, so, going into these games, you guys obviously experienced it, and then hear a lot of people talk about how he handles it, how he operates, the pre-snap communication, post-snap execution. Does he look like he's, seeing everything clearly? And that is said because it matters. And that was one of the things that stood out, was just how comfortable he looked in and out of the huddle. There's multiple times where, he's sticking his hand up at the line of scrimmage, talking to his receivers like, hey, you're good. Don't worry about any blitzes.
This is the same owner who turned the Cowboys into America's soap opera, who never met a headline he didn't like, and who understands that football is as much entertainment as it is strategy. And Jerry sees Shedeur Sanders as more than a quarterback. He sees him as a walking, talking storyline that could electrify the league. Forget about scouting reports. Forget about depth charts. Jerry's the type of man who would sign a player just because his name looks good lit up on the Jumbotron. And Shedeur Sanders? That name sells itself. Fans already imagine it stitched across the back of a Cowboys jersey, ringing out across AT&T Stadium like destiny. Cleveland may see a bench warmer, but Jerry sees a star waiting for his spotlight. To understand just how wild this is, you've got to look at the Browns' track record. For decades, they've been the NFL's quarterback graveyard, a place where promising talent goes to vanish. It's like witness protection, only instead of hiding mobsters, they hide quarterbacks from greatness.
Cowboys. I don't care about Dak's new contract. I would go get Deion Sanders. I would pick Shedeur Sanders. If I had to give up Micah Parsons and 3 firsts, I would do it. You do not get out of bankruptcy putting $13 a month into your 401k. You get out of it with big swings. You start looking at the draft order. You look at Dallas' schedule. The only team they play the rest of the year that's got nothing to play for is the Giants. They got a shot to get the #1 pick. They got a real shot. Yes, Dak will be upset if you draft Shedeur Sanders. So what?
Draft picks, free agents, even veterans. They all go into the machine and they all come out broken. Fans joke about it, but for Shedeur, this is his career on the line. He didn't step into the league to sit behind relics of the past. He came to rewrite the future. And now, the fans are restless. They're starting movements online, demanding the Browns free Shedeur before it's too late. Stadium chants are turning into coded cries for help, and it feels less like football and more like a hostage situation. To them, keeping Shedeur locked on the bench isn't development, it's malpractice. Jerry Jones knows this too, and that's why his interest feels so real. Jerry has always thrived on chaos. He knows that the Cowboys are not just America's team, they're America's headline machine. Adding Shedeur would be less about a quarterback competition and more about spectacle, about shifting the balance of attention in the NFL. Jerry doesn't just want to win games. He wants to own the storyline, dominate the conversation.
Deion is going to be the third father to son to get drafted in the first round.
I mean, that's a no-brainer, man. Come on, like to say is Shedeur not going to be a first-round talent and a first-round pick? I think he's going to be top 5. He might be #1 overall taken player in the 2025 draft. That's a bold statement. Go on clips, go on to mark it up, however you want to say it. D-Jack said it here live on 2510. He might be the first player taken in the 2025 draft. But that's a no-brainer, man. Yeah, he's
So, whoa. See, now I think Shedeur is the best quarterback in college football. Hands down.
So that's the #1 pick, yeah.
But
Travis Hunter.
He should not be the first pick overall.
Who? Shedeur?
Yes.
I mean, do you know who might be?
Don't matter.
Might be.
And carve his name into the drama. To him, Shedeur Sanders isn't just talent, he's prime-time television, the kind of player that makes casual fans tune in, even if they don't care about the score. That's why whispers are spreading like wildfire that Jerry might go all in, no matter the cost. Rumors say he'd trade the farm if it meant getting Shedeur in a Cowboys jersey. Micah Parsons, draft picks, future flexibility. It doesn't matter. Jerry isn't the type to play safe. He's the type to swing big, because in his mind, football isn't about cautious moves. It's about legacy. And Shedeur's name is legacy in bold letters. Imagine that for a moment. A Sanders back in Cowboys blue. The nostalgia, the headlines, the merchandise, it practically prints money. Jerry knows that. And whether the Browns realize it or not, the clock is ticking. Because if Shedeur spends another year wasting away in Cleveland while his prime years slip by, the league won't just laugh at the Browns. They'll call it a crime against football itself. Shedeur Sanders is not hype. He's proof that sometimes the experts get it wrong. Analysts can argue all they want about whether he's a top 5 pick, a #1 overall talent, or just a name carrying weight because of his father. But every time Shedeur steps on the field, the debate gets quieter. He plays like he's already been here before.
What do you think of the Cleveland Browns QB situation?
Oh, it's horrible. It's absolutely terrible situation for a quarterback to be in. Let's get real, people here. All right? This is the thing that nobody wants to talk about. Shedeur Sanders is in a situation where the NFL and the Cleveland Browns have set him up to sink or swim in year 1. What I really mean by that is they set him up to fail. Shedeur Sanders is the 4th quarterback on the Cleveland Browns roster, but let me talk to you about the other guys that they have on the roster. Joe Flacco, the de facto starter that everyone with a football brain believes will be their starting quarterback, barring injury, is a Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl...
Like the chaos around him doesn't even register. His passes slice through defenses. His composure never cracks, and his leadership pulls teammates up like gravity working in reverse. That's not what you see from rookies. That's what you see from game changers. The Browns may not want to admit it, but Shedeur doesn't belong buried on their roster, and the rest of the league is starting to notice. Owners who once smirked at the Sanders hype are now whispering about whether they made a mistake. Coaches who dismissed him are rewatching tape and realizing he has every tool they claim to want in a franchise quarterback. Arm strength, vision, pocket awareness, confidence. He has it all. And yet Cleveland insists on letting him sit while Joe Flacco, the veteran placeholder, holds the reins. To fans, it's madness. To Jerry Jones, it's opportunity. Jerry knows that players like Shedeur don't come around often. He's not just a quarterback, he's a cultural shift waiting to happen.
This is the Browns. This is the most hype they've ever had. Like, it's the Browns.
Exactly.
So, he got drafted to the wrong team. That Sanders name, I'm telling you right now, there's only one person that understands business, and he will trade his quarterback for Sanders. Dallas is where Sanders is gonna be.
Wow.
Because that name on the back of that jersey is legacy, and he's gonna want that to ring bells around the globe. Jerry is gonna have him.
Put him on the Cowboys, and suddenly, you're not just selling tickets, you're rewriting the script of the NFL. AT&T Stadium becomes the center of gravity. Sports shows stop talking about Mahomes and start obsessing over Sanders, and the Cowboys become more than a football team again. They become the storyline everyone has to follow. That's what Jerry craves. The buzz isn't just coming from Dallas either. Across the league, executives are nervously shifting in their seats. They don't want to admit it out loud, but they know Cleveland is botching this, and they know someone like Jerry might swoop in and steal Shedeur right out from under them. Imagine how that looks. A generational talent left to rot on the bench until a rival owner plucks him away and turns him into the star he was destined to be. It would make Cleveland the punchline of the decade, and Jerry Jones the mastermind who pulled off the biggest heist in football.
Ever angered me more than what the NFL has done to Shedeur Sanders. The Browns showed you their hand by taking Dillon Gabriel 50 slots higher than they wound up taking Shedeur. The head coach, Kevin Stefanski, did not want Shedeur Sanders. The GM, Andrew Berry, clearly did not want Shedeur Sanders, but quarterback injuries conspired against the Browns to start with. They were forced, of course, to give Shedeur a shot in the first preseason game only because of all that spate of injuries.
And the truth is, this isn't just speculation anymore. Shedeur Sanders is showing signs of being not just good, but great, faster than anyone expected. Defenses adjust, commentators nitpick, fans analyze every throw, but none of it rattles him. Where other quarterbacks panic when the pocket collapses, Shedeur starts calculating. Where most rookies flinch at the blitz, Shedeur adjusts mid-play, like he's rewriting the entire scheme in real time. That's not luck, that's brilliance. And brilliance doesn't stay buried for long. The Cowboys might already have their plan in motion. Some insiders believe they'll ride out this season in mediocrity, fire Mike McCarthy, let Dak Prescott walk, and open the door for Shedeur. It's bold, it's risky, and it's exactly the kind of drama Jerry Jones lives for. He doesn't just want a quarterback, he wants a symbol, a star, a headline that keeps Dallas at the center of every conversation.
Dallas seems to be a place that can check all the boxes for Shedeur realistically, instead of Cleveland, so we're gonna see. So I think the Dallas Cowboys could be his next.
And Shedeur Sanders is all of that rolled into one. Cleveland fans can scream patience, but patience doesn't sell tickets, and it doesn't change the fact that burying Shedeur is wasting his prime. Fans are already comparing it to locking a Ferrari in a garage, while the team insists on driving the minivan. You can keep pretending the minivan works, but deep down, everyone knows you're wasting the real prize. That's what makes this story feel like more than just rumor. It feels inevitable. Shedeur Sanders is going to find his way to a franchise that treats him like the generational talent he is. Maybe that's Dallas, maybe it's somewhere else. But one thing is certain, Cleveland isn't it. And the louder the whispers grow, the more impossible it becomes for the Browns to keep up the act.
It tells me like he's understanding what he's looking at. That matters, a big deal. I think the thing that like one of the things that I took away was he was pretty aggressive with the football. That tells me like confidence, that again, he's seeing how rotation happens. Now, he saw a lot of, backside safety drop down man coverage. So that you're not going to see, you'll see that in the league, obviously a ton. He didn't see a ton of pressures. He didn't see a ton of blitzes. Some of the stuff that some other quarterbacks saw, like Seattle was throwing Star Wars stuff at.
This league moves fast. One moment you're ignored, the next you're the most talked about player in the country. Shedeur isn't waiting for tomorrow. He's already here. He's not just in the conversation, he's rewriting it. That's why the shift feels so real right now. Fans know it, analysts know it, even rival owners know it. The Browns might still be pretending they're in control, but the reality is simple. Once a talent like Shedeur shines, you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to be a middle of the road team this year. I think it's going to be done on purpose. They're going to fire their coach. They're going to let Dak go. They're going to then draft.
And Jerry Jones? He's never been one to sit quietly while someone else mishandles a star. The Cowboys see what Cleveland doesn't. And whether it's this season, next season, or the draft after that, the story feels like it's writing itself. A Sanders back in Cowboys blue, carrying the legacy forward and proving that you don't waste greatness, you showcase it. Because the truth is already out there, and it's only getting louder. Shedeur Sanders isn't next, he's now.